Hi, me again. I'm Antoinette Filtron, and today we will be reviewing Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Paterson. I think it's pronounced Paterson. So this is a Bildungsroman, and as I mentioned in my quick review, that means it's a coming of age story with the main thrust of the book centered around the characters, their relationships to each other, and especially their arcs, how they grow and develop throughout the book. And it's usually one character kind of mentoring the other one, and it's very similar in this. Bridge to Terabithia has a lot of strong themes of feminism. So Leslie, the little rambunctious girl, is definitely a tutor to Jessie about the ways of the heart and the soul. So the pacing and style of this is, I love it. I really love the style of this. You're from Jessie's perspective, and he's just a little country boy with annoying sisters and a mother who never sees his true worth. She just wants him to do chores, and you feel like life is unfair, and my dad's not working hard. He just doesn't want to spend time with me, and you're in the mind of like a fifth grade little boy, and it works. It really works. The pacing is always also pretty good, which is rare for a Bildungsroman. They're usually very introspective and very slow, but this one has decent pacing, and with sort of fantasy elements thrown in later for the imagination section of the book, when the kids start exploring their world in a whole different way. The fantasy elements really bring that home for me, but I'm personally a big lover of the fantasy genre, so yeah, that definitely adds a lot. So the sugar in this is definitely the relationship between Jessie, the little boy who is your point of view character and the protagonist, and Leslie, the little girl who moves in down the road, and that they get to know each other. And it's really nice because, okay, they are a bit young, but there's no hint at romance. I think he thinks sometimes that like the way she runs is very beautiful, but there's never really, yo, we're gonna date now or anything. It's just really nice, honest, pure platonic friendship. And it's nice to see. It's and then the vinegar in this, sometimes the politics get a little too overt for my liking. Girls are the same as boys, and we can run too, and it is for a younger audience. This book is YA, but it's a bit preachy. You don't need to slam me over the head with your themes. I got it. Jessie and Leslie are both unisex names, so it can go either way. So is there really a difference between boys and girls? Like, I get it. I get it. Calm down. Would I recommend? Yes. But if you're looking for the fantasy, full on fantasy, you're not going to find it here. If you're looking for a full on contemporary, you're not going to find it here. It's kind of a mix. So it's definitely difficult to recommend to people because it is so unique in where it sits between these two genres. Okay. So moving into the spoiler section, this book starts off running, literally. Jesse is practicing his running because he has this deep and intense desire to be the fastest fifth grader their school has ever seen. And he's been practicing the whole winter. He wakes up before dawn to run so that his parents don't notice him not doing his chores. So heaven forbid he not do his chores. Chores are a big part of this kid's life, and that's why I love it. Because it's honest. He's a boy on a farm. Obviously, chores are going to be a big part of his life. So yeah, I really like that bit. But then he gets to school, and the new girl wants to run. And immediately he's upset because the girls play over there. This is the boys' area. That's where the girls go. But they sort of allow it. And then it happens. Leslie wins the race. And Jesse is so upset. He doesn't want to talk to her, but he's still kind of a good guy because then when the other guys bully her, he stands up for her and he says, "No, let her run. She can run. I don't want to talk to you though." So he's really upset by being shown up by this little girl. And then slowly but surely their friendship develops. It's definitely a love to hate type of thing. And then Leslie decides we need a place all our own because they are both a bit outcasts for different reasons. Leslie is an outcast because her family are hippies and they literally don't have a TV, and this is a point that gets her bullied a lot, is the fact that she doesn't have a TV. It's like the weirdest thing to bully somebody over, but kids will be kids, I guess. And then Jesse is also called a hippie. He's called a hippie because he has this passion for drawing. And his parents say, "Stop with your hippie dippy stuff, get to work." And so he does, and he tries to hide his drawing. He only has one teacher who really understands him. We all had that teacher, right? Who just really understands him, and he shows her his drawings, and he shares that part of himself with her, and with very few other people. It's his hippie side, and her hippie side is her legit hippie parents who just left a life in the city to come live like poor farm folk because they feel it's more enlightened. Yeah. Okay. So then Leslie decides they need a place all their own. And that's how Terabithia is born. So they swing across this rope, across a small chasm river thingy. So they swing across, and then on the other side, Leslie starts imagining and creating the world for them to live in, where they are the king and queen, where they decide the rules, where feminism reigns. Yeah, the themes of feminism are pretty overt. And here I have a question. Is Jesse an unreliable narrator? Because the world literally starts to change into the fantasy that Jesse is seeing as Leslie creates them around him. And it's interesting because it's not as if it says the tree looked like. The tree was imagined to be. The tree becomes the thing. The monster, the giant, the whatever the trees have to become. It's a forest. If the trees become a lot of things. So, is Jesse an unreliable narrator in this? I don't think it's a question that's often asked, but maybe his sisters aren't that annoying. Maybe he's just biased. Maybe his mom is really a nice lady, and he just is mad at her right now because he's going through that phase. Maybe Jesse was never as fast and never really had hope of winning the race. I think it definitely gives the book a whole new light if you start questioning Jesse as a perspective. And I think there are definitely hints of it when you go into Terabithia and you get this fantasy world because he's so immersed in it. And so the story becomes entirely immersed in it, and the narrative becomes entirely immersed in it. And you have to wonder whether what you're hearing is the truth and what you have been hearing is the truth. Characters. As I said, these characters are really a play on what is gender? What does it mean? Jesse, male or female name, hint hint, is a boy that's really competitive, annoyed by his sisters, really hardworking, but he has a softer side. He's a really sweet, good kid. He's just a good kid. And he has the softer side and he likes drawing and he likes imagining things and he dreams of what the world could be. And then Leslie is tough for a girl. This book was written a while ago, so it's not your typical strong female protagonist. She doesn't just randomly beat everybody up. But Leslie, also a unisex name, intent. Leslie does things that are not expected of girls. And maybe that's because she's from the city. But she takes on teachers and she's smarter than the other girls in the class. And she runs faster than all the other boys. And we know how boys are about their physical prowess stuff. So there's definitely questions of, if Leslie were a boy, would he not be praised for everything that female Leslie is now being scolded for? And vice versa with Jesse. If Jesse were a girl, he would be encouraged to draw and to dream. But because he's a boy, no dice. Sorry, Jesse, no hippy dippy stuff for you. Then another thing that makes me kind of think maybe Jesse is an unreliable narrator. Leslie is perfect. She's, from a feminist perspective, the perfect little girl. She's strong and she's not afraid of her femininity, but she's also not hindered by it. It's not in her way. And I wonder, is she kind of a badly written character with too few flaws? Or is this Leslie's perspective of her? Because she definitely becomes more and more impressive as time goes on. And as Leslie grows to like her more. I'm really on this unreliable narrative theory. It is just a theory, but I feel like it could carry some water. Then the plot. So it meanders. It moves, but it meanders. It's everyday life. They're kids. They go to school. Jesse runs every morning. Then bullies, schoolwork, projects, parents. There's nothing really going on except in Terabithia. In Terabithia, we get to go into this magical world and fight giants and like battle armies and do things. But none of that is real. And we know none of it is real. So there's not much tension to the plot. And there's not much foreshadowing, and then Leslie dies. Jesse comes home to find that Leslie has gone into Terabithia, swung across the creek on the rope on her own, and it snapped, and she hit her head against the rocks, and she died. And it's obviously the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to Jesse in his life. His only and best friend is gone. And there's no tension building up to it. It just happens, and I don't know whether that's good or bad writing, because it's so like life when it's a freak accident. There was nothing to build up on this. It just happened, and it's terrible. But it is a building roman, so Jesse is overall the better for Leslie's influence in his life. And in the last scene of the book, he's building a wooden bridge for Maybelle, his little, I think she's like 4 or 5, she's really just a little girl, his little sister, to go into Terabithia, because he's going to teach her the feminism now. And he's finally nice to his sisters. He's learned a lot about accepting who he is, accepting his feminine sides, and also accepting the other feminine influences in his life. So it is definitely a feminism thing. But as a sister, I am all for being nice to sisters. So it's a sweet ending. It's really heartwarming because Maybelle she is perfect throughout this novel. Is Maybelle Mary Sue? She's just sweet throughout. She's always there for Jesse, always encouraging him. She looks up to him. He's her older brother, and the kid can do no wrong in her eyes. Everything he does is great, and she's always there supporting him. So to see him finally turn that kindness back onto her, it's sweet. And I think that's the theme of this novel. Maybe feminism and kindness go together. Maybe feminism and accepting yourself go together. Well, and it's a very interesting take on how one influence can bring so much kindness into the world. So I like it, even though it is terribly sad. I'm not a crier, but if I were, maybe. So that was my opinion. Check down in the description to see other people's reviews. And I'll see you next week. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think.